The abandoned factory stood tall and imposing, a relic of a time gone by. It had once been a thriving manufacturing plant, but now it stood empty, its rusted exterior and broken machinery a testament to the passage of time. Despite the rumors of its dark past, two kids, a boy and a girl, decided to go ghost hunting there. They arrived at the factory just before sunset, armed with cameras, flashlights, and a sense of adventure. As they entered the building, they felt a sense of foreboding, but they pressed on, eager to explore. The factory was a labyrinth of corridors and machinery, its metal surfaces rusted and crumbling. The two kids moved cautiously, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. They heard strange noises, creaks and groans, whispers and laughter, but they were undeterred. As they walked deeper into the factory, they began to hear a strange, haunting melody. The music was unlike anything they had ever heard, ethereal and beautiful. They followed the sound, their curiosity piqued. The music led them to a large room, filled with old-fashioned instruments. In the center of the room, there was a grand piano, its keys gleaming in the dim light. And there, playing the piano, was a ghostly figure, a young girl with long, flowing hair. At first, the boy and girl were scared, but as they listened to the music, they began to feel a sense of peace. The girl played with a skill and passion that was mesmerizing. She told them her story, how she had been a talented pianist, practicing for hours every day in the factory's music room. But one day, she had fallen ill and died, never realizing her dream of becoming a professional musician. As they listened to her story, the boy and girl realized that the factory was not haunted by malevolent spirits, but rather by the echoes of the past. They felt a sense of connection to the young pianist, and they knew that they had to help her achieve her dream. They spent the rest of the night cleaning and repairing the instruments, working together to bring the music room back to life. And as the sun began to rise, they played together, the girl's piano filling the room with a hauntingly beautiful melody. When they finally left the factory, they felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing that they had helped to heal a place that had been consumed by sadness and despair. They never forgot the young pianist, and they made a promise to keep her memory alive by playing music and sharing her story with others. The factory still stood, its dark past forever etched in its rusted metal walls. But now, it was also a place of beauty, a testament to the power of music and the resilience of the human spirit. I hope you enjoy the content I upload. If you like what I'm doing, why not think about clicking on the subscribe button to keep up to date on my uploads. Thank you all for the great support.
It was a cold and misty night when the group of ghost hunters arrived at the gates of the ancient Scottish castle. The stone walls towered above them, looming like silent sentinels in the darkness. As they made their way through the gates and into the courtyard, the group could feel a chill run down their spines. This was no ordinary castle. It was said to be haunted by the spirits of those who had died within its walls. The group was led by a seasoned ghost hunter, a man who had spent years investigating haunted places around the world. He had heard stories about this castle, stories of apparitions that appeared out of nowhere, of screams and whispers that echoed through the halls. But he was not afraid. He was eager to explore the depths of the castle and uncover its secrets. As they made their way inside, the group was struck by the darkness that enveloped them. The only light came from their flashlights, which cast eerie shadows on the walls. The air was thick with the smell of damp stone and decay. They walked down a long hallway, the echoes of their footsteps reverberating through the castle. Suddenly, they heard a faint whisper. It was a woman's voice, but they couldn't make out what she was saying. They followed the sound to a room at the end of the hallway, and as they entered, the door slammed shut behind them. The room was pitch black, but they could feel a presence in the room with them. They turned on their flashlights and scanned the room, but saw nothing. Suddenly, one of the flashlights flickered and died. Then another. Soon they were left in complete darkness. As they fumbled for their backup flashlights, they heard a sound that made their blood run cold. It was the sound of laughter, but it was not the laughter of the living. It was a cold, sinister laughter that seemed to come from all around them. Suddenly, the room was illuminated by a pale, ghostly light. They could see the outline of a woman standing in the corner of the room. She was dressed in an old-fashioned gown, and her eyes were empty sockets. She began to float towards them, and they could hear the sound of her laughter growing louder. The ghost hunter tried to speak, but his voice caught in his throat. He had never encountered a ghost like this before. The woman continued to float towards them, her laughter filling the room. Suddenly, she disappeared, and the room was plunged back into darkness. The group scrambled for the door, but it was locked. They were trapped in the room with the ghost. Suddenly, they heard a voice that seemed to come from inside their heads. It was the voice of the woman, and she was speaking directly to them. "Get out," she said. "Leave this place. It belongs to me now." The group managed to break down the door and run out of the castle, never looking back. They never spoke of that night again, but they could still hear the laughter of the ghost echoing in their minds. The castle remained untouched, a dark and haunted place that no one dared to enter.